Good morning. It is Sunday, September 6th maybe? And we are in a little town called Gibson, Louisiana. We are gonna go to the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. But this is the community. It's a quaint little town. Doesn't look like there's a ton of money here, but there's some really cool old houses. And there's a marker somewhere close by where the ambush actually took place. So this is the museum here we're coming up on. Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. I think it's open every day, right? Yeah. Ronnie?
Yes.
They said that the guy that runs it, like, he's very accommodating. So anyway, there we go. Historical site. This is the location of Ma Canfield's Cafe, where Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow stopped at 9 a.m. on May 23rd, 1934, picked up sandwiches, and drove to their deaths 7 miles away.
Bonnie and Clyde. No way. Clyde does not stop.
Look at the old t-shirts. 1996, 2007. So I guess they just put out different shirts for each year.
Yeah.
This part was actually the cafe that the sign is referring to outside. And that's the door that you go in, and so this is where they had their last meal.
Yeah, that's what they say. It's the last meal.
So the cafe is actually the museum. Yeah, she's got some stuff in here. Phone used by Frank Hammer and Ted Hinton to call Sheriff Smooth Schmidt. And Lee Simmons to tell them his job was done. Bonnie and Clyde were dead. They got the phone. Oh my God. Crazy. It's Kevin Costner. And this must be Ted Hinton because that's his hat.
Old cash register to the diner, probably.
Cafe, probably.
The only thing I can tell you is that what you're going to see is the truth. It's actual. It's factual. There's no myth. You want to see the truth? You'll see it here. Well, I'm L.J. Boots Hinton, and my father was Ted Hinton, who was deputy sheriff. He was the last of the 6 officers to pass away who captured Clyde and Bonnie in Gibson, Louisiana, May the 23rd, 1934. There was a film made immediately after the ambush. It was made on the Bell and Howe Wind-Up 16 that Ted carried with him all during the time that he was after Bonnie and Clyde. News photographer in Dallas with the Dallas Times-Herald gave that camera to Ted and told him, says, Ted, you need to carry it with you because you're going to get them eventually, and when you do, you're going to need to document it. Ted knew Clyde because they had been Western Union messengers together. Bob Alcorn knew Clyde because he had handled him before. So they were the only two out of the six-man posse that knew them actually physically on site. Ted and Bob Alcorn tracked Bonnie and Clyde for 17 months. They were the only two people that ever faced Clyde in a gunfight more than once and lived to tell about it. Well, Ted knew both the Parker and Barrow families. And one time in a conversation with Henry Barrow, Clyde's daddy, he says, Ted, he says, I know you're going to have to kill my boy because then he won't be taken alive. He's not going to go back to the pen. And there are no hard feelings because we know that you're just doing your job. Was made immediately after the ambush. You can see them removing carpet bags, removing guns, and all of this from the car while Bonnie and Clyde are still in the car. They're leaning against each other.
You know, for them to have died in 1934, it shows a lot of pictures taken of these two people.
And of course, his guns and everything.
But of course they were
Back over the car.
That's true.
Carpet bags.
But still, at the time, you know, it's like,
her family had money though. If I remember correctly, it was his that was poor.
good Lord.
I don't care, you know, it's kind of creepy.
Look here, babe. Jacket.
Barrow buried money in Louisiana, Arcadia, Louisiana. Sheriff Henderson Jordan said today that he had heard no reports of possibility that Clyde Barrow, Southwestern Desperado, killed here recently, had buried some money on this regardless of Ivy Methlin, father of an alleged member of the Barrow gang. You go on treasure hunt.
This is a big day in the life of this sleepy little town of Arcadia, Louisiana. The crowd is probably small furniture and undertaking companies are trying to body play, filled and through the great performance.
Mr. Hammer, I am writing you again for Mr. and Mrs. Barrow, as we never got no answer from the other letter we wrote to you. Mr. Hammer, we have been told by Sheriff Smoot Schmidt that you have in your possession some guns that were in the car at the time you and the other officers killed my boy Clyde. Now, Mr. Hammer, I do hope you will be kindly enough to give to me those guns, as you know you have no right to try and keep those guns. I feel you should think you have caused me enough grief and hardship without trying to cause me more trouble now. I have been told you have the guns that you got out of the car, 3 pistols and 1 sawed-off shotgun. Now, I do know that my boy did buy most of the guns he had, so I don't see why you should not return the ones you have to me. You don't never want to forget my boy was never tried in no court for murder, and no one is guilty until proven guilty by some court. So I hope you will answer this letter and also return the guns I am asking you for now. Mrs. C.H. Barrow, mother of Clyde.
Well, we've come about 7 miles from the cafe where they ate breakfast. And that was from that way. So they come up that hill, and as soon as they topped the hill, that's when they jumped out of these bushes on both sides of a narrow dirt road. And here's the actual markers of the ambush site. Of course, everybody got their names and stuff on them. Even somebody from 2020 already. Most of them from 2020 actually. So here's the actual historic markers. 9:15 a.m. The little museum we were at just a few minutes ago, that was a cafe where they had gotten breakfast. They got through eating.
They made that drive.
Made the drive we just made, which is about 7 miles. And that was all she wrote.
There's a hill. They must have like been hiding on a hill.
Yeah, that's why I figured that, you know, all this, of course, wasn't cut out for light poles and all this kind of stuff. So you can imagine what it might have been like. A lot closer, you know, woods right up to the road. Teresa done found a hiking trail, so yeah, even to this day there ain't nothing back here. Good spot for a criminal to hide out for sure. So to show you a little bit of the area, it's just peaceful, just a peaceful hill.